Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here, and this is going to be my final Book 1 Air Legend of Korra episode commentary. This one's going to be on K112, Endgame. And now this commentary is going to actually start from basically the title card of the episode, so it's not going to have that opening with the Earth, Air, Fire, Water bit. So you need to prepare the episode so it has that title card that says, Book 1 Air, Episode 12, Endgame. And then the episode starts immediately after that. So prepare your episode to start basically as that kind of white card appears on screen. I'm going to stop speaking now in a second, and when I start speaking again, that's the time to press play on your episode to continue on from that title card bit, and you'll be synced up with the episode commentary. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to pause now. So hello, this is going to be my episode commentary for K112. Endgame, the final episode of Book 1 Air of Korra, finally near the end of this series. And obviously, more than any other episode of Korra, it continues completely directly after the previous episode, Skeletons in the Closet. And we finally get to see where the kind of, air-based team are going. Bolin, Asami, Iroh, Naga, Tabu, what they've been doing. And we just get some nice moments just to, I suppose, a break away from the main characters in this of Mako and Korra to finally get these guys here. They completely walk straight into the electric fence. It's like, what are these things? Zap. It's kind of funny in how random it just happens. And then we see that Amon is basically taking over the pro-bending arena as his big kind of fortress basically in the city. This is where he's basing all this stuff out of. He's using this as his huge rally arena, and Korra and Mako are obviously about to enact their plan here to out Amon and end the revolution that way. And as usual, Steve Blum does an amazing job with the kind of speeches here, and just really, Amon doesn't have that many lines in the whole series, so these speeches are great when Steve Blum is just allowed to go completely crazy with the Amon. And here, Korra and Mako reveal themselves, and he's like wondering, how does she know that? And the lieutenant is very interesting, I think, in this episode, in that he really starts to believe what Korra is saying as this goes on. Wait, is this true? And stuff like that, and we'll see later on. And then, it's a shocking thing to say, and where she gets this from is so confident. Like, she does kind of get so few people to believe it, though he really kind of has to kind of prove to everyone that he is as he says. And this was a really shocking moment. I was surprised that they actually did this and showed us that reveal of his what his face is like. Yeah, later on in the episode we get to reveal that it's actually face paint, but it was a really shocking thing when you first watched the episode. You're wondering, like, what? Was Tarrlok lying the whole time? Is he the villain of the whole thing? Crazy stuff. And now no one believes them because they weren't expecting him to basically have it planned that he would have to reveal his face. Shows how clever Amon was. And this is kind of this episode, I think, more than any other episode of Korra, has the flaws, I think, of the series, in that they just don't give themselves enough time to explain everything. Like as Korra said, they got away. Everyone saw them get away, and they just happened to have them here. Never explained where they came from, how they were caught. Never even hinted that something went after them. Oogie. It's just what that needs to have some explanation. And then Asami Hiroshi stuff that comes in this episode is really nice. Hiroshi just cannot see that his quest for revenge is instead of being against the one person who did hurt his family, it's against all benders. while Asami is the kind of more open-minded one. She's fine with benders and stuff like that. So really makes you respect Asami as a character. And then Bonus is like, nope, I can't metal bend. But he has Pabu there, and obviously Naga to get them out. And like I love this moment where like you can see the animals helping out as well. Naga just like a boss taking down those doors, and then Pabu going through the rope. And then this is a really great scene here as the kind of Iroh goes after the airplanes and the rest of them trying to kind of take out the ships that haven't took off yet and stuff like that. It's cool. Asami hops in with the mecha tanks. No set operated because of the similarities of engineering between all the future industry stuff. That makes sense, and that's really kind of cleverly done. Iroh can do the whole Iroh Man thing, which is really cool, and it's a great action set piece in the finale. And I think people, when they discuss the finale, really do forget that there's some really amazing moments, like the whole Iroh in the airplanes taking out the airships. Some nice moments with Bolin, Asami, and then just the kind of action pieces in general. People always forget about that because of some little flaws at the end. And they realize, I think Korra and Mako realize that they kind of have to fight at this stage. Mako's the one to strike first. It's really cool. And like just how in unison Mako and Korra are here, it really shows how good of a team they are. And you get the sense that for the first time ever, Amon is vulnerable here, that he could get hit, and it does happen here when Tenzin is freed. You know, like look, he's the one to get the kind of first hit on Amon of the series. Obviously, this is some really great bending here. There's the first hit on Amon of the series. He did the whole re-fearing for the kids the whole time. You know, Pema's obviously has the Rohan newborn child. Nice line from Mila there. Prison Break. That's really good. Nice bit of humor in an otherwise dramatic scene. Korra covering their escape. And this is kind of the interesting thing about this. Instead of the big fight scene at the end being a huge battle between like Ozai and Aang, it's more of a kind of thriller kind of thing with some brief moments and more dramatic than exciting, I suppose. You know, they're in basically Toza's gym here. They're hiding. Amon walks in. You think he doesn't know where they are, but instantly knows and like bloodbends them here. It's just super dramatic and good. And just like you still sense that Korra is afraid of Amon, not as much as from episode 4 of Korra, but still afraid. And then the crazy animation and just like how like shocking it looks when someone's getting bloodbent is really great. And then how easily he's kind of beating the Avatar, and like probably one of the best firebenders in the series. It's insane. And then for this to happen, 1/3 of the way into the episode, Korra to get her bending taken away is like, I wasn't expecting that. I don't think anyone was expecting it to happen this early in the final episode. But it works because we get a lot of time to kind of see Korra, I suppose, without her bending. Kind of get the sense that like Amon's won at this stage. How are they going to like beat anyone now? But I'll see. Iroh's taking out the airships, lightning bending, great stuff. And just the animation in these airships scenes, as like just you see kind of when the shots are kind of angled down, you see the city and how like gorgeous it looks. You see the statue, the lovely scenery in the background, skyscrapers, clouds, mountain ranges. It's really good. Iroh Man, perfect scenes for him there. Yeah, like, and as I was saying again, like scenes like this, really great action scenes, probably some of the best in the whole series, often forgotten because of the little bits of kind of like lack of conclusion, I suppose, to the end of this episode. Like, this isn't a bad episode. It happens to be the kind of I suppose worst of the series, but it's still an amazing episode. Some fans kind of need to realize that. And then this moment, like Iroh heading for the Aang statue, and this is a lovely symbolic moment here. Iroh just barely survives. The plane doesn't break the statue, but instead just breaks the Amon mask off the statue. And a great line here from Iroh coming up. Like he gets the sense that like he's met Aang before. It's great. And we see Bolin really. This is Bolin's big development here. I think compare this episode to basically him in K103 when he was captured by Amon. He didn't fight at all. Yet here he's rushing headlong into these battle against these kind of mecha tanks and so on. Just that kind of bravery, the sense that he's willing to fight. That's kind of the development. And the scene coming up here is going to showcase that perfectly. And like this is also a really good scene, like the whole Asami Hiroshi conflict and the way it's going on. The way it's very like family related, lots of emotion. It's really good. The way Hiroshi just thinks that like he can't get his daughter to be on his side, despite the fact that he's kind of wrong, and he just then attacks her because it's so tragic for the kind of Sato family in that they were kind of like ruined one time by the death of the mother, and then Hiroshi's now kind of ruining the family here at that crazy great voice acting from Daniel Day Kim. This is the moment for Bolin, just runs in headlong on Naga, super brave, saving Asami. He would never have done that in episode 3 or earlier on in the series. But you can see the development here from hanging out with Korra, the bravery of his brother and stuff like that, even Asami herself. You can see that Bolin has developed. And then the emotion on like Asami there, she was thinking of like kind of finishing her father off. But she hesitates because she still cares about him. Unlike Hiroshi, who doesn't kind of care for Asami anymore. She fires the kind of electro bolo and takes him out. And that's like a lot of people kind of complain about this only getting a very short period of time in the whole show, but it works for what it is. Like he's in prison at the basic end of the series, as we're going to see him in book 2, so that's going to be developed a little bit more, I think. And then we return to the kind of big main aspect of the episode. And here's the lieutenant walks in and sees exactly what's going on. To the lieutenant here, he was like the most passionate equalist of the whole thing, kind of even more so than Amon. And just to see it ruined, and like he dedicated his life to Amon and like his cause, and Amon just bloodbends him. And a lot of people think that he kind of died there. I'm not quite sure. I think there's a lot of potential if they kind of maybe brought him back and like how he deals with it after this. I think if he did die, it's fine, but not like the best. That's great from Mako, showing how powerful of a bender he is, and that he can just through sheer willpower break through a bloodbending grip, which we know is basically how it works. It's not like that Katara in 308, the Puppet Master, broke through Hama's bloodbending grip because she could also bloodbend. It was willpower, and a lot of people complain about that in that, but I have no problem with it here. Korra and then Mako and then Korra breaking through the bloodbending grip, because they're kind of eager to do this. Lot of willpower. Even Amon says that he's impressed with Mako's willpower and bending skills. So talented. Almost. And then this is the moment here. This is the big moment where Korra kind of develops, I suppose. Just her willingness to fight on despite kind of her identity being taken for. Basically, since she was 4 years old, she's known she's been the Avatar. Bending has been her life. She then lost that in a second. And given that she's lost all this, still willing to basically fight for someone else to save Mako, she that selflessness unlocks kind of inside her that airbending that she didn't have, and she fights back, unlocking that because she had an airbending block, and she fights back, breaks through the grip, and sends Noatok flying into the ocean. And this really works here, I think, as the ending of the whole revolution thing here, because the only way everyone was going to believe this is if in public they saw Amon waterbending, which is what happens here, and he does it because he has to save his life. He's too far underground, underwater. We see that and they see his face here as well, not with the scar. And there's so many lies, and the whole revolution just crumbles in a second because of that. There needed to be no massive fight, just Korra willpower and stuff like that. It was really cool. And he obviously escapes, but he's no real threat because his whole threat was not just because of him as one individual, but because he had that revolution behind him. He didn't have it anymore, so he had to flee. I like that. And then we get into the kind of ending, basically, where Amon has gone is to visit his brother, Tarrlok. Really nice scene here. He apologizes for taking his bending away. Tarrlok has really developed one here. He realized that their father is responsible for both of them kind of being this way. Neither of them kind of wanted to basically do their father's bidding, but ended up doing it anyway. Noatok wants to start again, but kind of Tarrlok knows in the back of his mind that it's going to happen again. Like, he's going to have some quest for something else. And like Korra here is left with airbending, but not the other elements. And for her, she's so upset. A lot of people complain about this. I have no problem with it as such. They could have done a better job at saying to us that this is the reason, that selflessness was the reason she unlocked her airbending and stuff like that. Explaining why Aang appeared to her. Lovely appearance from Boomy. In one scream, he became a fan favorite. And in the direction of Tenzin tells you all you need to know as well. And again, here's this scene that I think shocked everyone. Everyone was just like, oh, they're going to get away, they're going to come back in book 2. This scene on the boat, you're just kind of like, what's going to happen here? And just, when you see Tarrlok reach for the glove, and you're just like, no, he's not going to do that. He puts it over the fuel tank, no, he's not going to do that. Boom, they just did that. It's kind of like, wow. And just the emotion of this scene where Tarrlok realizes that no matter what both of them do, they're both kind of trapped in that path that their father kind of set them on, and especially for his brother, like uh, it kind of like it's not him redeeming himself, but the best he can do to redeem himself. It's kind of like just end them both so they're never a threat to the world ever again, and it works as a kind of like payoff, I think, for that side of the story and for both of them. And obviously we get Katara back here, Korra's parents, Tonrak and Senna. Obviously Lin also cares about Korra now as well, they're kind of friends. Now this is where I think they could have done something a bit different. They could have explained what Amon's bloodbending is. Like Korra could have, Katara could have said that it's caused by bloodbending, blocking chakras, but because I'm not a psychic bloodbender, I can't unblock that. Give us the explanation, but also give us the kind of tragedy of no one being able to heal it, Korra still having lost her bending, but give us that explanation as well. It just lacks that explanation, and that's kind of what I think the whole series is missing. What exactly causes bending to be lost? And now a lot of people also complain about kind of Korra's reaction here, and why she just leaves and like thinks that she's a complete failure just because she's lost her bending. But it's a lot deeper than that because, as I mentioned, for 13 years of her life, she's known nothing but bending, being the Avatar, and that is who she is. And like she has, like, and Mike and Brian explain it as that she has to learn to kind of love herself, and at this point before she can kind of continue on. Forking let other people kind of love her here. And here's some nice kind of Makora stuff, like Mako. He thinks he can kind of help Korra through this by revealing his true feelings for her, and then maybe that will kind of get her happy again. But she has to kind of sort some stuff out on her own here. So she goes to kind of be on her own. To just kind of be on her own to, I suppose, accept what's happened to her. And like as Tenzin just said there. And a lot of people say that like, oh, it's just Korra crying and then she gets what she wants. But I think you have to always look back to the fact that even without her bending, she was willing to put herself on the line to kind of protect Mako. That's kind of what unlocked it for her. She realizes at this point in time the importance of being the Avatar to her, and that she won despite having lost 3 of the 4 kind of bending disciplines, and she just thinks she's failed completely as the Avatar. And for me, when Aang appears here, it's not him saying like, "Oh, something bad has happened, I'll fix it," but more like you don't deserve to be kind of punished for doing something so good, like putting yourself on the line. This is an epic moment, by the way. Aang appears. That line, if you really look back on this episode with that line in mind, it all makes sense. Her lowest point was her without her bending. She was open to like new stuff, which was basically selflessness and stuff like that. And she mastered airbending, and it also applies to her spirituality because air is a spiritual element. And because of this, she now has kind of her connection to 4 elements back, more spirituality, and kind of activates the Avatar state for her. And just seeing her in the Avatar state, that music, Avatar state music in the background, perfect scene here. And like, again, it's one of those things, Korra has not yet mastered the Avatar state in this scene. This is basically Aang, Avatar state, the whole Avatar spirit stuff, activating it for her, giving her that energy bending power to basically combat what Amon has done to people, showing her how to like end the moon. Because for Korra to be the kind of Avatar and balance things out, she obviously needs to stop the unbalanced stuff that's just happened, i.e. people kind of losing their bending. Lovely Makora scene there that I just kind of skipped over talking. But I think that's good. Like, they are just, by the end of this series, they have gotten together. We've had development to show why they get together. Then the rest of the episodes will be about exploring their relationship. I'm fine with that. Very symbolic that Lane, I suppose, is the one to get her bending back, given that she kind of sacrificed her bending to save others and stuff like that. Really great scene here. So well done. I just see Asami there in the background, kind of like happy. She's not upset, kind of about the whole breakup thing. She's kind of happy. And then Lane obviously saying that. Perfect way to end book 1. For Tenzin not to kind of jokingly say it to her like, "Oh, you're the Avatar now," but to really like respect her as the Avatar, call her Avatar Korra because she earned that title. That's really good. So overall, I've at this stage done all the episodes in commentary. The only problems I really have with the book 1 as a whole are just basically that bloodbending thing. They did not explaining what exactly it is, and through that we kind of miss some of that development related to a lot of the conclusion stuff. But other than that, I'm perfectly fine with it. If you really look at this kind of series, what happens, use Aang's advice, kind of finding out what Korra goes through, it works, and I'm fine with that. People say it's too short, only 12 episodes. There are still 40 episodes left to go to develop stuff like Makora. Give Bolin more development, give Asami more development, give the Makora relationship more development. I think I said that twice. But do all that stuff. There are 40 more episodes remaining. Book 2 Spirits is going to be 14 episodes. Book 3 and 4 are going to be 13 episodes each. There's still lots of time left for that stuff. So thank you to anyone who listened to all these commentaries, or just this one. They've been, for me, really enjoyable to do, and definitely have loved getting like comments on the videos, likes on the videos, and stuff like that. So just thanks to everyone who watched.